Good to see everybody. Can you believe the last time we were all together was July? It just seems like a lifetime ago. So much has happened in all of our lives these past couple months. And now we're on the countdown, or at least I am. I don't know about y'all. We're on the countdown to fall break. 14 days till fall break. We got this. We can do this. Really excited to have you guys here today for our first quarterly Blue Chip meeting. So proud to collaborate with the technology department, and they're going to share some really interesting and exciting tech resources that you can start to implement into your classroom tomorrow. So before they do their presentation, I'm going to turn this over to Shamira, and she's going to give you a little bit of an explanation on our team evaluations and the track that you're on, and maybe a quick timeline. And she's also going to answer any Flex PD questions or questions that you might have, or concerns that she'd like to share with us, or anything. We're here to talk about Flex too. So with that, and just one more quick thing. In my learning plan, when you signed up for this session, after today, if you could go back in there, there is an evaluation that is attached to this. We want your feedback. We want to know, moving forward for our second quarter or third quarter Blue Chips, what topics do you want to listen to? What do you feel will be a great and valuable effort for your time? So if you could go ahead and complete that survey for us, it's real quick, it'll take you less than 2 minutes, and let us know what types of topics you'd like to hear about moving in the future. That will help us plan our additional quarterly meetings. And then we'll mark you complete for this PD session, and you can use it either as a technology Flex PD or a choice, whichever one you might need. It's totally up to you. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Shamira. And we've got lots of cheese dip and salsa and blue chips here for you. So if you do get hungry, feel free. Feel free to come and get us. It all needs to be gone by the time we're done.
Okay, we'll get started first with any of your Flex questions. I know there are probably lots of them, so we'll just take a few. Hopefully you all are in you're getting a good flow, and most of you have pretty much what you need, unless you're like brand new. What I'm looking at after pulling, just a few things in MLP, what I noticed is a lot of you are getting content. That's fine. Your choice is probably taken care of. State mandated. You're getting to the point now where we're looking for team opportunities and probably admin led opportunities. Give your administrators a little time. They're trying to get school started and get everybody in the good flow. But if you are, I would say, mid-October, second week of October, if you do not have everything complete, start reaching out to your building admin and say, okay, when are these opportunities going to be offered? I want to make sure I clarify about team offerings. If you look in my learning plan and you see anything that's labeled team and it does not specify a school, so HHS specific or HMS specific, please feel free to go attend a team offering at another school. You can do that. If there's an opportunity to attend some content that's in your content area, okay, I want to be very clear about that. It must be around the area that you actually teach and directly impacting your classroom. Feel free to attend those opportunities as well, okay? So I don't want you to feel that you can only attend things that are being offered in your building. Now, some things will be building specific, but it'll also say that. It'll say Dogwood Elementary School specific. Sure.
For those of you that don't know, this week is homecoming week at Houston, so that's why some of your blue chips are dressed in Western
This is why I look like this right now.
Okay, so just make sure that you're not limiting yourself to what's being offered in your building. It's open. If it's not designated building specific, please feel free to attend. Any questions about Flex? Yes.
So for content, that's the one I've been struggling with most of the time.
What's your content?
Math. They
Okay.
just added 4. So I have those 4, so I still need 1 more. Do you know if there are any other math ones added, or if there are any that are on there now that I could?
Okay, that's a great question. So Ethan Constant, or Mark Constant, according to email, is your math supervisor for high school, so make sure, or middle school. So make sure you reach out to him if you're short an area. He might be able to recommend maybe a webinar that you could watch, or another opportunity for you. So like, I can't say, yes, you can go do this, but he could definitely tell you, what opportunities you have.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Sure. So just to clarify, 5 content 3 technology, 2 choice, 2 state mandated, 2
And
admin led, thank you, and then your team. Yes.
So as a school counselor,
Mhm.
and what are my content and like what would I put down for that kind of stuff?
Okay, so your person that you need to reach out to is Christy Law. She's actually on maternity leave, but she is answering emails. So they can,
If you have not moved your car in the parking lot, you need to go now and move your car. Thank you.
go now, move it.
They'll start to call off your license plate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I don't know. They will, and if you're.
it's more towards the field, right? More towards the field?
I think you mean like directly in front of the track, right? Is that what they're
In front of the
saying?
theater, like in front of the theater entrance.
Okay.
Auditorium.
Where else
So-
is there park then?
You can park in the circular drive right here. So,
Even in the back, because that's teacher parking in the back.
and there are lots of spaces right here, because now that dismissal is over. So if your car is over in this parking lot here, just come right out and just go right to the circular drive.
Okay, so, I did not send a direct email, but you can find that information in multiple places. So if you go on GMSD's website, under teacher,
I don't know if I am or not, so I'm gonna.
there's an FAQ on the GMSD website. And it gives you all your, breakdowns of the categories. Yes, just a couple more questions.
Oh, well, just really quick, I know you said try to get as close to your content or something like that. So, like I teach 6th grade language arts.
Mhm.
I thought I saw one that was for like 5th grade. And I mean, I know it's not 6th grade, but I kind of feel like it's just that
Are
different.
you
So,
newly hired,
yeah.
like, recently within, so you, were you?
At the start of this year.
Okay, so Bill Gillespie is your content person for
Right.
middle school ELA. Make sure you reach out to him if you have not already.
Yeah, I mean, I have. He's been in my classroom.
Okay, great.
But I just didn't know. And you were talking about picking the classes, like I didn't see one.
It won't, if you go to a 5th grade ELA, even though they're using the same curriculum, it's probably not going to be beneficial to you. But if you're still missing content hours, reach out to Bill. Okay. All right. Yes.
Sorry. At the very end when we're done, like some of these you can use it for multiple things. Who's gonna make, once we put it in my learning plan,
Mhm.
are y'all the ones
That's a
that are
great
gonna?
question. It's going to be in your packet.
Okay.
So that, we'll transition to that. Go ahead and open up your packet. We'll talk about your evaluation timeline in just a second. The second page of your packet is what your building admin, if they have not already sent it out to you, this is coming to you within the next week or 2. This is where you will document your professional development hours, your flex hours. So this is called your teacher professional development plan, okay? So you, along with your building administrator, when you have your summative conference, they're coming. Again, we're waiting on that because not all data is entered into Encompass yet. But when you have those conferences, they will help you fill out this form. So you'll talk about your goals as far as professional development, what you plan to accomplish, what you'd like to work on, what are your strengths, your weaknesses. And on that very back page is where you will start to document all of your hours. So just say something is marked in my learning plan, 3 different categories. You can mark it on your template which category you want it to fit in. So even if it's not the way you want it to be in MLP, that's where it's housed. Okay? Your administrator is the one who's responsible for signing off saying that you have all of those hours. So I'm going to be sending out an email and I'm going to get a beautiful spreadsheet saying teacher A, B, and C need to be here on November the 19th and 20th because they weren't able to get their hours complete. So your building administrator is the one who will be signing off on those hours. Okay? Any other flex questions? Because I want to make sure I go into give you enough time for evaluation questions. Yes.
So on some of them, when there's more than one option, it'll say like team or choice.
Yes.
But then there's one that says multi. Is that then it's in a?
It's the same thing. It just means there are multiple options.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay.
So when you scroll down that form, it'll show areas that are clicked, like checked.
Oh.
It'll say content, choice, admin, state,
Okay.
whatever. So just check there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any questions about the template? It'll be sent to you electronically, so you don't have to write on it. But if you'd like to write on it to turn it in, you have a hard copy. You have your own hard copy. Okay. Just really quickly, evaluations will begin very soon. I'm just going to be very honest with you. Probably for some of you next week. Okay. Yes. If you've not already heard, your administrators may have sent out an email saying, don't panic, but we're probably going to start next week. If you didn't get that, it's probably coming tomorrow. they want to get started, and the reason they want to get started is because there are a certain number of observations that have to happen before you leave for winter break, okay? So if you are a professional licensed teacher, and I'm going to talk to you, are any of you professional licenses in here? Some? Okay. Yeah. You're a professional. Okay, so there's the way the state of Tennessee divides your license or your observations is based on if you are a practitioner license or a professional license. If you're a professional licensed teacher, and if you don't know which one you are, you can always check on T and Compass under licensure, and it will say which license is active for you, whether you're a practitioner first issuance or second issuance, but hopefully you know that. So basically, we've kind of taken the schedule and we've created our own timeline so we don't have to wait on the state anymore. So every single person in the district is required to have an unannounced observation. Everyone, whether you are level 1 or level 5. So we don't have data back as of yet. Well, we do have data, but we don't have level of effectiveness scores back yet. So we created this, and if you notice, it's flipped. So if you're coming from another district, you're used to having an announced observation first, right? Most of you are, yes. Well, we couldn't wait on the data, so we're saying if we don't get this data back by tomorrow, and tomorrow is our deadline, and we've given that deadline to principals. Principals now have the permission to go ahead and get started with evaluation, so you'll be getting your unannounced first, okay? Don't panic. It's the same thing. The only difference is you will not be providing them with your lesson plan prior. You won't have a pre-conference, but good teaching is good teaching whenever it's going to happen regardless, okay? So you'll be fine. You will be fine. Principals are not coming in. It's not a gotcha. They're not coming in to say, I'm trying to catch them doing it. Isn't that. It's not like that. So I know that's probably not making you feel any better, but we didn't want to be in a situation where you're getting evaluated the day before winter break, and that's what would happen if we waited for that data to get back all the way in the second week of October. So if you are a 2 through 4 track professional teacher, you will have 2 observations. So your first will be unannounced, that's environment and instruction in the fall. Your second will be announced, that's planning and instruction in the spring, okay? If you are a professional track level 5, you have 1 observation, 1 real observation. It's unannounced. You will get planning, environment, and instruction all in the same observation, and then 2 walkthroughs in the spring. So your 1 observation will be done before winter break, okay? Now for my practitioner teachers, you all are a little bit different, okay? So if you are a practitioner license 5, you're on the same track as those professional track 5 teachers, but we have to wait on that data to come back, so we don't know what that is. So we do. Were you one of those teachers?
I don't even know. I just made it.
So if you are a practitioner level 5, you'll have 1, just like our professional level 5s. If you're a practitioner 2 through 4 or brand new, you will follow the very first column here, starting with an instructional coaching conversation. Raise your hand if you've already had that ICC with your principal. So it's a coach conversation. They call you in and talk about what their goals are for you for the year. Okay, all right. Yes.
I talk to my admin like every day, so.
But it wasn't anything like official where they logged into T and Compass and had you check something off in T and Compass? Okay, but that's good. That's good information for me to know. So I'll just send a friendly reminder in cabinet communications for them to make sure that they're conducting those instructional coaching conversations with all of you new teachers here to the district, which is all of you. Yes.
I'm just trying to have a better understanding of level. Is it like they do in Shelby County, the levels that way? Or?
Yes, so you're in level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 based on your evaluation, your growth, and your achievement measures.
So you can determine whether or not what your overall level of effectiveness score is in T and Compass. So
It isn't there though.
but it's not right. When the state releases that data, you'll always be able to see it, and it's called overall level of effectiveness, or LOE score, and you'll see that. You can see for your previous years what your LOE score is.
Any questions for me? I want to move out of the way so technology can get started. Okay, if you have any questions, I'm told to say make sure you filter any flex questions to your building administrators first. And if it's something they can't answer, then they'll get with me and we'll try to figure out if we can help you. If it's evaluation or timeline issues, contact me directly. if by the end of next week, and you all hear me saying this, by the end of next week, if you have not had your ICC, I need an email. Like, send me one directly, Shamira, I have not had my instructional coach conversation. I need to know that, because that's,
And we're all supposed to have that?
yes, if you are
Okay.
if you are new to
Yeah,
the district, yes,
okay.
yes. So that's everyone here.
Is it the district instructional coach, or is there one for the school?
It's your building administrator, but it's a conversation. It's called an instructional,
Okay.
yeah, just an instructional coaching conversation. Okay, that's it, I'm done. Thank you. Sorry, Ms. Lee.
All right. Sorry.
Hey guys, yeah,
Yes,
so,
I'll-
we're gonna turn the rest of the meeting over to our technology department. So we've got Mason Grace, he's our director of technology. And then we also have Chris Cooper, he's a Chris has a
Blended learning.
blended learning lead. He's our blended learning lead for the entire district. And then Melissa Deskin is a curriculum technology trainer. And if you're at Houston High School, you probably know Melissa. If you're at Houston Middle School, you might know Chris. And they are here. They're supports for you to help you integrate technology into your classroom. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mason.
Great. All right. So yeah, we just want to come and show you a few tools that are out there for you or that are available. You may know about most of these. Hopefully, there's at least one you pick up and be like, "Hey, that's something I didn't already know." We're not teaching you how to use these. This is just like a quick look. If you want to see, if you see something that you really like and you want to learn more about it, talk to your CTT or send them an email, and they'll come help you get set up and show you how to use it and go in more depth with this. We're just kind of showing you some things. This is a classroom screen. It's something kind of new. It's probably more geared towards elementary, but there are definitely some tools you can use, especially in the middle school. It's basically just a screen full of tools for teachers. It's got a bunch of different backgrounds that you could use. So this is a track, but you could choose whatever background you want, and you could even upload one if you wanted to. But go back to that one. But then you have a random name generator. So if you have your students' names in here, you could just type a couple in here. So then I can just say choose and then Davis. All right, and the next time I want to hit choose again, it gives me somebody else. And so, quick way to do that, you could also do numbers. There's dice up here. So you could roll the dice, and if you have like numbers and rows, a roll with numbers on it, you can do it that way too. So that's just a quick way to do name picking. There is also a volume meter. I guess I don't have the little extension set up, but this is like a little meter you can set up where it tells you where the volume is. You can put a meter at a certain point and say don't let the volume get past this point, and so they can watch it and see where they are. And you can, these are all little widgets that you just kind of throw up there and they can stay on the screen, or you can take them off. There's also a QR code. This is kind of cool because you can be doing a lesson in the room. I'll make this a little bigger. I think I should go up here to plus. Then you got too big. You get the point, all right? But here I can be like, all right, let's go look. She's going to show Poll Everywhere. So let's go look at Poll Everywhere real quick. Turn and then it switches it up. So all I got to do is scan it and they're on it. Or you can change it real quick. And so you can just keep changing it during the class and it'll keep changing the QR code and they can scan it. So it's a quick way to let them get to sites without you having to give them a URL and type an URL. Yes.
How do they scan it? Is it just a camera?
There is a QR code app in the probably in the iPads. I guess do they have laptops?
Well, laptops won't, but they can use their phones or with the iPads, they can actually scan it with the camera now. Since most of them have iOS 11.
Yeah. There's no way on the computers to do it though?
Okay.
So I guess it's just iPads then, or they use phone in class. So there's also, you can turn the whole thing into a whiteboard, so you're writing on it, especially if you have an interactive whiteboard, but of course you have other software, or you can just turn a small section into a whiteboard. So that's what so again, it works better if you have an iPad that you're writing on, or if it's an interactive whiteboard, they can walk up and do something with it. All right, get rid of some of these. Let's see here. Just write them down, I guess. All right, you can put a little text, like a little Word document up there. You got the red light, green light thing. You've got the, hey, let's be in a whisper right now, or let's be completely silent, kind of tell them what they're doing. You also have a timer you can put up, and then at the end of there's a clock you can put up. At the end of class, you can click on this, have a question up here, and basically like an exit ticket, especially if it's interactive board, you know, can just come up. Each person can click the whatever they want to do as they go by, and it gives you, can show you results at the end. So, just some cool little tools there that you could play with. All right, Kahoot. I know we're probably starting to use several times, but we always got to show it because it's so much fun. So I've got a quick little challenge for you. We're going to do a little riddle. We're going to do some riddles here. So go ahead and open up your device. We'll do a little quick Kahoot. I'll make this fun interactive for you. Just to show you how much fun this is, in case you don't believe it. These are actually riddles that it's who's the fastest reader probably can get these. But so you've got 20 seconds to get it. The answers in there, so it kind of helps. Some of them actually have two answers. You have to click on two answers.
Once they get it.
All right, so classic.
We need a game pen.
Game pen.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there. Here you go.
All right.
You got to go to Kahoot It, right? Kahoot It. With this game pen. Kahoot It. I love riddles. I thought it'd be fun. Naughty nicknames beware.
You can kick people out if they do inappropriate things.
Yeah, I could just click on B and hit X or Wiley and it takes them out of there if it's inappropriate.
I'm gonna be inappropriate, so you might as well just let me.
Terry kicked me out yesterday, and so then I made it back up Terry. Alright, we got enough in? We got 18 players? Alright, we're starting. Alright, so, like I said, some of them have two answers. What has a tail and a head and is also bronze? You have to click the right color, right? If you want to do it, you click the color. And it is time. Everybody has the fastest time and gets it correct.
Oh, wait a minute.
You pick the right color on your screen.
Sounds like our kids. So the question is there, it's not like.
Alright. Somebody went too fast, 15 got it right. 15 questions on so Nelson's in the lead already.
Alright.
Destin's on your heels.
Nelson cheated.
What is fast as a cheetah, slow as a turtle, and can transform into any shape or object? So once I get everybody's answers, it immediately goes in there whether the times are pronounced. It's kind of nice. Everyone got that right? Oh, Nelson's still the fastest reader. What belongs to you, but others use it more than you? Some of these are common riddles. Nice. Okay. Is Nelson? Oh!
Ooh, tie.
There's Nelson.
No,
Get used to it.
Nice. Get used to it. Oh! That's you just gonna put out there. What is brown and sticky? Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah,
Let's say the answer. Oh. I guess I have to be the answer. What asks but never answers?
Oh no.
Take that now.
This has two answers.
Oh, I guess I got it right.
Yeah, it's two. You can do either one of them. So. All right, you still
Oh, I
lead.
got it.
What two things can you never eat for breakfast? Two things, right? You ate two things.
It only lets
Oh,
you
I
pick
got
one.
it.
Yeah, only let me pick one.
You know, I just pick one? Okay. Uh-oh, Deskin Swinters is speech.
Come on.
What can taste better than it can smell?
It's so nice when you look at my
Oh! That's time.
What?
More people have it, rich people need it. He gives us lessons every week, that's what it is. nothing, you will die. Mary's father has $5. Nay, nay, Nene. Didn't say about stuff. We gotta be close. Mary. Oh, you
Nelson deserves.
Let's get this one so fast. Sorry. Well, where we got shortly?
That's cheating.
Let's get it up. Good. All right.
You know, M&H.
I'm skipping this, one's too easy. Battery on. All right, one more. I made it easy with only 2 choices. One over 18. Starts with M. All right, let's get this one.
All of them.
You're right. It is all of them. All right, Nelson wins. All right, good job.
Good job, good job.
All right, good. That's one take over.
Okay. Okay, so when y'all came in, we called it a bell ringer, but asking like how your week was going. So this is a poll everywhere. And this is just one of many options that Poll Everywhere has, but I used, up until this year, I was an 8th grade language arts teacher, and I would always use these for bell ringers or as exit tickets. And I will tell you, since evaluations are coming up, admin really like these. They're like, we'll give you bonus points for these. But you can create a bunch of different kinds. I'm going to show you all a short video, and they just added a new feature, which is really cool. If you've ever done Quizlet Live, which I'll show you in a little bit, Poll Everywhere just kind of added their own version of Quizlet Live.
A presentation and you want to get some feedback from your audience. Show of hands. How many of you have signed up for office hours? 1, 2, 14, 15. That's not very accurate. Old voting methods take far too long, and expensive voting systems like this one, well, they're difficult to set up and don't allow for audience comments. Introducing Poll Everywhere. Through a simple web interface, Poll Everywhere lets you collect instant audience feedback. Just type in a question, and your audience can respond using laptops, tablets, or even mobile phones, even your crappy flip phone. Hey guys, what do you think of my presentation so far? Is it A, amazing, B, incredibly amazing, or C, not that great? To respond, just text message the number on screen. Or use a custom URL to respond in the web app. You can even use Twitter if that's what you're into. As people respond, results are embedded instantly into your presentation in real time.
And the kids really like the instant gratification of seeing how their results pop up immediately.
You can also ask open-ended questions. What is your favorite part of my outfit? Poll Everywhere also lets you customize the look of your charts to wow your audience. And for all you spreadsheet nerds out there, you can even create segmented crosstab analytics. The best part about it is you can try it today for free. So how excited are you guys about Poll Everywhere? A, can't contain it, or B, not at all? Kaboom! Instant audience feedback. Poll Everywhere.
Alright, so I'll show you kind of how I used it in the classroom last year.
What's the limitation on the free version? Because I haven't really found the limitation yet.
The only limitation is how many responses you can get. I want to say
It's well more than your.
Is it? Oh, did they? I used to have to clear it after like 2 classes, but maybe they.
It's definitely enough for a whole class, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably did increase it because I've been in like large PDs where we've done it. So I would. I don't know if I had anything last year. So no, this is just from this PD. I would normally have like a themed question for whatever my lesson is. For instance, when I was doing To Kill a Mockingbird, I had a question that was something along the lines of like, who's somebody in your life that does a lot for other people but never gets thanked? Because that was what our lesson was going to talk about, but with To Kill a Mockingbird. And they went through and they chose people from their own life. And then when we started talking about To Kill a Mockingbird, they were like, oh yeah, that's kind of like my mom, it's kind of like my teacher, it's my librarian, you know, whatever. So they put that together and it was really nice and I got instant feedback. And like I said, they really like seeing their answers pop up there. Now, sometimes I would freeze the board so they can't see that everybody's choosing answer D if you make it multiple choice, and then I would show the results after because sometimes they'll just choose whatever everybody else is choosing. Let me show you what the competitions feature is now, which is really cool.
Bring out the audience's competitive side with Poll Everywhere competitions. Competitions adapt to your presentation. Create and present multiple choice questions. The audience responds on their devices, and the leaderboard shows everyone who is in the lead. Competitions is a breeze to set up and play. It can be as long or as short as you like, and makes you the star of your own trivia contest. Create your first competition today by signing up for a free account at polleverywhere.com.
All right, and before I move on to Quizlet, let me show you all the different options that you can do. So there's the multiple choice type. The word cloud is what I had you guys do. There's Q&A open. You can also put, like if I were a social studies teacher, I could put a map of the United States up and they would have to click where, if I said, you know, what's the capital of Tennessee or where is it, they can click on there and you can see how many clicks were on certain areas. Like it'll give you stats on that. You can do a survey, open-ended question, competition, and then there's a million more that you can choose. Similar to the one that Mason popped up for the exit ticket, there's like the smiley face emojis and they can choose how they feel about a certain topic. And it's a little bit more, you know how y'all probably been like, on a scale of 1 to 3 with your fingers, show me, like how, then everybody knows how comfortable they felt. Whereas this is a little bit more private and you can kind of see how people are feeling. All right,
I have a
Quizlet.
question.
Yeah.
So when the kids do they have to be in Poll Everywhere, or is it
Like an app or they can do an app or a website, or you can even, I wouldn't recommend it, but they can text to a number, so it doesn't have to necessarily be like a Poll Everywhere app.
They don't have to
It
log
could be a
in.
link.
anyway.
Yeah, no login. Okay, so Quizlet, how many of y'all have used Quizlet before? Okay, so at the very basics of it, you can do flashcards, digital flashcards, and then you can share them with your students. They can create their own. A lot of my students have Quizlet on their own and make their own flashcards, but you can create it for your class if you know they're all going to be studying the same material and you feel like doing this.
Is Quizlet an app?
There is an app that they can get on the iPads. On the computers, you can just go to the website and I'm trying to think if there's.
There's also public flashcards
Yeah,
too, right?
there's ones that you can search for. So you can make a study set.
I found that.
So when I taught To Kill a Mockingbird, I created flashcards for my students. And you can even put images on there. So you can get as fancy or as simple as you want. And then when they log in, they have games that they can play. like flashcards matching. There's some game called Gravity, and they can practice writing and spelling them out. But what's really cool is what I would normally do is I would give them the study set, a week or two in advance, and then the day before the test we could play Quizlet live together. And you really kind of get an idea of who's going to do well on the test the next day and who's still struggling, and it gives them an idea of how well they know the material and whether or not they need to study really hard tonight. So let me show you what Quizlet live looks like. And you can post a link to the study set that you create on Schoology, and they can easily access it, or they can search for your username on Quizlet itself.
Something with the app for Quizlet, you can't add pictures for the app, you can only add it through the browser.
But can they see the images? Like if you made it on the browser and then they play on the app, do they see the images?
Yes, they
Okay.
just can't add.
Meet Quizlet Live, the easy-to-use classroom game that blends competition and collaboration to engage every student in learning. Quizlet Live groups students into teams that must work together to win. While teams are prompted with the same set of...
So we'll say you can put all your kids' names in there ahead of time, and then you'll say create teams, and it'll automatically create groups for you, and they have to go find each other. Like it would say Chris, Mason, Melissa, and Shamira, and we would all have to go run with our devices to go sit together before the game starts. So it also kind of encourages them to work together, because you cannot, even when you're sitting in a team, if you're not talking to your teammates, you're going to miss it. So because everybody has different answers on their screen, so if you don't talk to each other,
set of
do
questions. Each teammate
Hey, Melissa,
different
we have another
possible
question.
answers, and only one.
So when you put the names in, do you put the names in, or do the kids join the class?
They can join the class too.
And that's how you put the names in?
That's what I did last year was
That's what
you
I-
just put up a link and they type in their name and it puts them all in there, and then when you click create teams or something like that, it will create those groups for you. That's honestly the easiest way to do it.
Person per team has the match. Students need to communicate to choose the correct answer and move forward in the game. As they play, the teacher's screen acts as an interactive leaderboard, tracking each team's progress.
So I would
and
always
as
put the
required
leaderboard
to
up on the
competition.
projection so that they
If
could
a team
see.
answers incorrectly, they go all the way back to the start. So choosing simply for speed won't work. Instead, the stronger their teamwork, the faster they'll go. And the first team to correctly answer all questions in a row wins. When the game ends, the teacher can lead a class review, or easily start a new round to give students another chance at glory. To play, you'll need an internet connection, one device per student, a teacher-controlled computer, and a way to project. Start by logging into your Quizlet account and choosing a study set. Select Live to generate a game code, then project your screen so your class can see. Have students open the Quizlet app or go to quizlet.live in their browser. After they enter the code, they can add their name to join the game.
So that's just the basics of it. But it's a really great way to review. And I would do things like every member of the winning team gets a point, and we would play a couple rounds, and whichever winning team won overall had the most points, then I would do something like 2 bonus points on their test or candy or whatever it is that works for you and your kids. It's a great review tool. All right.
Make your own, or they're already pre-made?
Both. So you can find, and like I would normally share my study sets with the other English teachers in 8th grade so that they could give them to your kids. But there are public ones, or you can make your own. It's really easy to make them.
Can you set the number of kids in each group and all of that stuff, or?
I think it's been a while since I've done that one.
I'm just thinking house competition.
Right. I will have to look into that for you. But I want to say it automatically makes them into even groups, so that may not, unless we have a house. I'll work with Chris on that. With the house stuff. All right, you want to do Chris?
Sure. Airplay. All right, so I'm gonna work with you a little bit with Schoology, but I want to first see where we are with Schoology. So since this is middle and high, all of you have access to Schoology, and hopefully all of you are using it on some level. But this is completely anonymous. Let's go ahead and do another poll everywhere real quick. And just go ahead and respond with A being like you're basically rocking it, or at least you're good with everything with Schoology, all the way down to D being you're struggling even getting started with Schoology. So let's get a good feel for where you guys are with Schoology.
Does that code have to be capitalized in the cases that?
I don't think so. What's that?
I'm sorry, I had to step out. What was the P? Is there a P?
No, just go to, if you're gonna text, you can text to that number and text the code Chris Cooper 712, or you can go to the web address that's up there, pollev.com/Chris Cooper 712.
So I can't get on this app. I download the app, so that's the Everywhere app.
No, that's to log into your own account.
Oh,
Just go to
okay.
web, just use your web browser.
All right.
I'll give you another few seconds. Looks like most of you are somewhere in the middle. About 80% of you are in the middle, which is probably about where you should be in this point in the game, being new teachers, maybe possibly most of you new to Schoology. So while we let the rest of you respond to the poll, tell me, just yell out some areas of Schoology or topics or use cases in Schoology where you would like to see today, because basically we can open this up and between Melissa and I, we can show you pretty much anything you need to see in Schoology, whether it's calendar, whether it's making basic assignments, whether it's making a test or a quiz. We can run through the steps to pretty much do anything you would need to do in Schoology. So somebody just yell out something that you would like to see in Schoology. And if everybody, or if you'd rather just see some tips and tricks, I've got sort of a slide deck of these sort of Schoology hacks. But if there's some basic things you want to know, we should probably cover those first. What do you got? Calendar, anybody?
Calendar.
Calendar, okay. Good. We can go through some calendar tips. Definitely do that. Would anybody be interested in just seeing how to make a basic assignment? What about a test or a quiz? Anybody want to see a test or a quiz in Schoology?
Can I see a test that you can take through Schoology?
Yeah, you mean like building a test or?
'Cause I messed up. I tried to add like a test and just put the grades in, but I add tests, and then it was like add questions and everything.
So you want to build a test in Schoology?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, what it looks
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of options to doing that, so we can show you some of those options too. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to be able to print from the new assessment
Yes.
for our special ed students.
Yes. So let me just tell you about the assessment features. There's the old green one, and then there's the new blue one, right? So the green one is the one that has it's limited in the features, but it's has more functionality. So the blue one is the new one, and we'll show both those in a second. But the blue one, they're still building in features. So that's why there's still both, because you can print from the green one, but you can't print from the blue one, and they're supposed to be adding that in. All right, so I think everybody's had a chance to respond here.
Can you show me how to grade a writing assignment?
Sure, absolutely, we can grade a writing assignment. So let's look at, real quick, let's just look at the calendar, since some people, a couple people wanted that. So the best way to get to the calendar is just to start from your home screen. So start from the home screen and then just click calendar. And from there, it's going to show you all of your calendars from all of your classes. Now I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I've, that I'm sort of an admin on. So it's good. This is going to show that I've got like 20 different classes. But this would be like worst case scenario. But for you, it's going to show, just a few things. So let me just select like 4 or 5 here, some classes. So this is probably more like what yours would look like. So this is a few classes. But it puts them all in one view. So if you click, again, I went to home, and I went to calendar, and this is your home calendar view. This combines all of your courses together. And if you want to add a calendar entry, you simply click on one of these cells somewhere outside, click on a blank part of one of these calendar cells. That's going to give you your event page, new event page. And then from here, if you want it to span more than one day, this is the weird part, it doesn't really make sense, but you click add in time. So add in time, even though it's really add in date, they call it end time. So if I wanted this one to span from the 30th to, let's say, October the 3rd, or more realistically, if I was going to span this over a week, I might do like October 1st through the 5th, because this could be like my weekly lesson plans, then I would make sure that it was the starting time was the 1st, ending time was the 5th. And then put in my title, and you want your title to show either your name or your course. What do we decide we're doing at the high school? Is it teacher name or course name for the title of the event? Both. So last name and course name, so that when kids see it, they can see immediately which class this is. So here I would put Cooper, call this algebra. I can't spell when people are watching. 1, how about that? We'll just pretend like I'm a teacher. All right, so then in this spot here, I could just either copy and paste my weekly plans. While I'm on the topic, it's good if you're gonna put all of your weekly plans in one entry that spans the whole week. You probably want to keep a second copy of those in a Word document somewhere on your computer, so that if you find a mistake, you can go back and edit that and then just delete it and start over. Because it's really hard to edit these once you get them in here. So you don't want to just type this in for the first time in this window. Number one, if you lose your internet connection, this window could go away. But also, if you do that, then your only copy is in this window. So I would advise you, do your planning in a Word document somewhere offline, and then copy and paste it into this window.
So when we post in the calendar, the only people that see it are our students.
Right. So actually, if you want your students to see it, you have to go down here to the bottom. You have to click this little search button, and then you want to select your classes up here under courses. So once you select those classes, then it posts for those courses. If you don't do that, then all you have is the Me icon down here, and that's your own personal calendar. So what I would usually do is just delete the Me, add your courses, and then it adds it to all of your courses. So you could add it to all of your sections at one time. So if you have one prep, you can put in your weekly plans here, and then add it to all your sections at once, and it posts to every section for the whole week. And that's like one step to add your lesson plans for all of your classes for the whole week. Then if you want to go back and edit something, you do have to go to each one, open each course, each calendar for each class, and edit each one individually, or just delete them all and start over. Okay? So
now, do the parents have access to this calendar? Like, do they have the app, and they, like, when I post it to the class, to their son or daughter's class, the parent will get that as well?
So the parents have access to Schoology. Their Schoology looks exactly like the students. They can basically see through the students' login. The only difference is they can't do assignments for the students, but it looks the same. So anything you post to the students, the parents can see it as well. And the parents only have access to their own children's courses. So when you're posting it for the kids, the parents are going to see it too. You have some options down here to attach documents. So if you want to just keep your plans in a Word document, you can attach a document here. You can also attach a PDF if you have a handout that week, a PowerPoint, whatever. You can attach that to your weekly calendar event. You can also attach web links. This is a link to files in your resource area, which we can talk about. So if you already have it uploaded to your resource area, you can attach it directly from there. And of course, you can also attach a video, audio recording. Pretty much anywhere you see this text kind of window in Schoology, whether it's building an assignment or a test, you're always going to have these options at the bottom of attaching a file or attaching a web link or a resource or an audio video recording. Those options are always down there pretty much anytime you see that kind of window. So I don't want to post anything to anybody's course page, but so what you end up with then is it would show a separate entry for every one of your sections when you post that. So you have to make sure that bottom section you do click the search and select all of your sections to post it to them. But then let's say once you've already posted it, you see a mistake, then it becomes, these are all separate entries now. So I'd have to click on one, and if I wanted to delete it, I would click View Item, and then I'd have to go up here and well, actually that's a test. Let me find one that's not an assignment. So I'm going to click on this weekly plan. I would click View Item, and then at the top right, I'll have to delete it from there if I wanted to delete it. So if you find a mistake, it's easier to just go to each one, delete it, and then just redo it. Okay, any specific questions about the calendar? Make sure that you're updating your calendar every week. We used to have a policy that teachers would update their weekly lesson plans on their teacher website. This is so much easier to do this because literally this takes, if you've already got your lesson plans for the week typed out in a Word document, it takes like 2 minutes to put them on the calendar here, so.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I guess. So the kids have a calendar that would have all of the stuff that's posted to them on one calendar?
Right, so they have the same kind of view that you do. So if they click on the calendar from their home screen, they can see all of their course calendars layered on top of each other the same way that you do. So if I click home and then calendar, they're gonna see this exact same thing. It's just gonna be made up of all of their courses. So when all of their teachers are posting the calendars for their courses, they see all those layered together, just like a Google Calendar has multiple calendars layered. They see all of their course calendars layered together as well.
If they go directly to the course, it would only be my calendar.
Right, they would only see the calendar for that course. So if they drill into a course, like here's a 6th grade math course, they can go into the calendar here, right there on the right. Hey, that's yours. And so that's just they'll just see your calendar. Good job, man. Keeping it up to date. Awesome. So, yeah, so they would just see that. But if they click calendar from the home screen, they'll see all of them. And keep in mind that they also have this view on the right-hand side. So this is sort of an agenda view of all of their calendar events combined together, sorted by date. So you can see today's Thursday, the 20th. There's everything that I'm subscribed to that has a due date for today. Okay? And they'll see the same thing. Anything that's due that day, they'll see it on that day's, under that day's heading. Cool? Any other question back here?
I figured it out. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions about the calendar? Yes, ma'am?
We just have 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay. The question was asked about, I think the other thing that you guys want to know was about tests and quizzes. I just want to show you one thing really quick in those 3 minutes. And that is, there's 2 different types of tests and quizzes. You've got the add test quiz, which is the green one, and the add assessment, which is the new, I guess it's kind of a bluish color. The add assessment has many different kinds of question types that are new. That's brand new this year. Actually came in, I think, mid-year last year. But it's not fully developed, so there's still some features missing in it, like you can't print the test, you can't import question banks from Blackboard. What else can you not do with it?
Doesn't instantly grade.
It takes about 10 minutes to grade. Yeah, it's not instant. The green one has fewer options. Like it's just multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, and I think short answer and essay. It doesn't have all the fancy like labeling images and highlighting and things like that, but it grades instantly. You can print them off. You can import from Blackboard or ExamView Pro. And they're adding all of those features into the new one. They just haven't yet. They basically rolled it out before it was completely finished. So it's kind of in beta. And we just, we chose to go ahead and turn it on and let people try it. So just know that you can have, there's different features in the different ones. Eventually, the add assessment will be the only one, and they're going to get rid of the old green add test quiz option. But they're not going to do that until the new one is fully developed.
And with a click of a button, you can convert it from the green
Yes.
to the blue. So don't worry about, I'm making all
Yeah.
these green kind and we're gonna have a new type and it's gonna go away. You can easily, like right now, if you have a test that's the green kind, you can click the gear next to it and say, like, convert it to assessment type or something. But, so just don't worry about it disappearing when the new assessment type takes
The
over.
last thing I'm going to show you real quick is the one thing that teachers always mess up on when they create their first test or quiz is go into the settings. If you're on the green one, you have to enable the submissions, otherwise students can't take the test. So the first time you do that, you will have to go in here and enable it. And of course, you can enable it ahead of time, but by default, it is disabled so that in case you want to go ahead and post it, the students can't go in and immediately take the test. So it's always disabled by default. You have to enable it. And it is in a different place for the new one. The blue one is actually in let's see if I have an example. The blue one is actually in here where you go to the edit screen, and the enable submissions is on this one right here. So submissions enable. So just keep in mind when you create a test or quiz, you do have to go in and enable it before the students can take it. Any other questions or Schoology issues, or if you just need somebody to come in your room and hold your hand while you do your first Schoology test or quiz, I'm at the middle school, Jessica's at the high school. We'll be glad to come in and just hang out while you give a test or help you build it. So just let us know when you're ready, we'll help you do that. Yes?
I would like to share something I learned that people might want to know, because this is if you put your grades in Schoology and you transfer them to Skyward, you cannot edit from Skyward because if once it requeues, it'll take it out. So like I had some kids do a written test and it disappeared. So you have to edit your gradebook in Schoology for Schoology
Right.
assignments.
Right, once you sync it over from Schoology to Skyward, that's a really good point. Once you sync it over, you need to make all the changes in Schoology and then sync it again. If you make any changes directly in Skyward, basically you can't ever sync it ever again because every time you sync it, it's going to overwrite. So just keep that in mind. That's a good point. Thank you. All right. Thanks.
Hey guys, thank you so much for your time and attention today. We will, I guess, see each other at our second quarter Blue Chip meeting, and that one is actually going to be during the day. So we'll send out emails when it gets a little bit closer to talk to you about the topic and when to sign up in My Learning Plan. It'll be on November 6th, which is a PD day. So we're excited about that, so you don't have to come another afternoon and give up some of your free time. But you guys have a great day. Tomorrow's Friday. Yay! Don't forget to do that evaluation in My Learning Plan, and we'll mark complete. And we're here. We're just a telephone call, email, short drive away. So thank you again. See ya.